That's what I was afraid of.
Yeah.
I was so afraid of being that person. And it turned out I wasn't, but I felt like maybe I was going to be that person. And she was like, no, you're good. You're strong. And I'm like, I don't feel strong though. But I guess I am stronger than I think.
What's up, you beautiful beasts? I'm Katie. I'm on a mission to help humans become the best possible versions of themselves and to strive for overall health, mental health, emotional health, physical health, all of the healths, without ever having to step on a scale. I have had the privilege to talk to all kinds of different humans who've been through a plethora of experiences just being a human and existing. I believe that every single time somebody shares their story, at least one person listening will learn from it, be inspired by it, and maybe, just maybe, even change the entire direction of their life. These are the stories of humans unveiling their beautiful beast. Keep listening. This is the Unveiling the Beast podcast. What up, beasts? Welcome back to the show. Today, I'm hanging out with Evelyn Holm Barry, who is, in a way, my sister. In this episode, we discuss motherhood, specifically the emotional roller coaster of having adult children, and having to let go of the role of parenting a young child while simultaneously embracing the role of being a support system for your grown child. As always, I hope something lands with you today. I hope something you hear tugs on your heartstrings, and or I hope you laugh. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm with Evelyn Holm Barry, and we're going to have a little chat. She is, in a roundabout way, my sister from two different misters. My stepfather, Mike Moffat, also at one point was her stepfather before me, and we're both still his daughters. So there you go. That's how we know each other. And we're all family, and it just adds to our big, wonderful, confusing, dramatic, loving, amazing family. Yeah? If you agree?
So agree with that. Everything you said. I never thought about it that way, but we share a father, and we also share a love for his wife, who's brought us together. His wife, Rosemary Moffat,
My mom.
wouldn't be possible. It wouldn't be possible for us to connect this way without the bridge that she built for us.
Agreed. And to be very transparent with my listener, she's sitting in the room with us too. She's hanging out with us while we talk, and Evelyn is going to share some things with us. But first, I just want to know, what can you tell the listener, my one listener who's my mom, who are you?
Well, I was born in 1973 on October 27th at 10 p.m. And I was born in Lima, Peru. So I am an immigrant to the United States, and I am a mother of two. I have two children named Bond and Unity. I am a grandmother of three. I have three grandchildren. I have Serenity, Harmony, and Jeff. And I am a artist, poet, singer, dancer, and I am also a person who loves to pray, a person who loves to eat, and a person who loves to sleep. Those are my three favorite things to do: is eat, sleep, and pray.
That's awesome. Seems like all three of those are vital to our existence.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Tell me a little bit more about your kids.
Well, the oldest one was born in 1991 and on November 4th at 6:05 a.m. And his full name is Bond Tesoro Myers. Tesoro means treasure. I wanted to name him Treasure, but his dad said he'll get beat up a lot if you do that. So maybe we shouldn't name him Treasure. Maybe you should name him Bud. And I said, no. I can't do Bud. And he said, well, we have to come up with something. And I said, well, I can't do Bud. And he said, well, how about Bond? And I said, well, Bond sounds like a good name. And he said, then we'll name him Bond. And I said, okay, Bond it is. But I still like to put Treasure in, and in the Hispanic way as the middle name. And he said, okay, he'll agree to that. So he agreed to that. So we came up together with Bond Tesoro. And we kind of think we might have known that we might have been going to get a separation, because he said he'll be our bond between us in case we get separated. And I said, okay, because I think we kind of already knew that we probably were going to get separated. And we did. We did get separated. But we still had Bond.
Was Bond an attempt to keep you together?
I think Bond was a surprise. It was a surprise. And for sure, on my part, I was excited about the possibility of a stronger commitment. My ex-husband was trying to do the right thing by me, by marrying me. And my mom said, if you don't get married, your son will be a bastard. And I said, I don't really understand what that means. Like, he'll be a bad person? And she said, no, it's just he won't have a last name. And I said, well, I still don't understand. But she said, you really should try to get married if you're going to have this baby. And so I asked my husband, at the time he wasn't my husband, if he would marry me since I was pregnant, and he did. So he did marry me because I was pregnant. And we did come up with Bond. And then Bond was born in the home, in our home. It wasn't our home, we were renting, but it was a nice little room in Kaneohe on the end of a Pahia Street, the very end. The house doesn't exist anymore. It's been torn down since, but that was 1991, and here we are in 2023. So we expect that most houses will be torn down more, especially older homes, plantation homes. But yeah, so that was Bond. He was when he came into this world, and at 6:05 a.m. on November 4th, 1991. That was a special morning. All the little birds were chirping, and he was born, and he was perfect. And then it was the best day of my life, really, sort of. Even better than my wedding. It was better than my wedding.
I'm really loving the smile on your face when you were talking about when he was born. I wish the listener could see it.
He was
awesome.
Amazing. Little Bond, so good. He's the best. I just held him and put him on my chest, and I never felt more love for anything in my whole life. I never knew that I needed him until he arrived.
Did he in any way save you? Like the marriage aside, did he save you as a person?
Yeah, he stuck by me. He stuck by me. He stuck by me through everything that I've been through to this day. He sticks with me. He doesn't let me he doesn't let me hate myself. Even if I try to, he won't let me. Because he just keeps loving me and loving me and loving me.
I'm feeling this story in my soul right now because I have a son. And I only dream that we have that kind of relationship when he grows up. Because I'm constantly reminding myself that I'm not raising a kid, I'm raising an adult. And I want that bond with him. We're sharing a tear towel. I just hope that I don't... I don't know if it's a universal thing, but I think to some degree every mom at some point feels like she's a horrible mother. And I'm really bad at telling myself that too often. And a lot of times I feel like I hope I don't mess him up to the point where he doesn't want to talk to me, or, I worry about things that don't exist yet. And so hearing you tell that story just makes me just keep hoping that I'm a good enough mom for him,
Sons and moms, they say, that have a different type of bond than daughters and moms. And I'll talk a little bit about Unity. Is my daughter. She came after Bond. She came in 1994 on April 5th at 10. I want to say it was 10 p.m., but I could be wrong. It could be a little bit later than 10 p.m. I think her birth certificate says 10 p.m. But she came quick, and she was born at home as well. And she came real quick. She came, Bond took a long time, but she came in 4 hours.
Wow.
She was a quickie. And she was born, and she was completely different than Bond. And I expected her to be exactly like Bond. But she wasn't. And the way we got her name with her father, the same father, we were still together at that time, was through the scripture in the Bible, because we had Bond already, and I knew this other baby was coming, and I was like, well, how am I gonna find a name to go with Bond? And and I didn't know the sex, what's gonna be a boy or a girl or anything, but I was hoping for a girl. And people told me I was gonna have a girl because you carry them differently. And you supposedly, with boys, you carry them low, and with girls, you carry them high, which I don't know. I don't know if any of that's true or not, but people were telling me you're probably going to have a girl. So I went through the scriptures, and I just started, flipping through, and I found this scripture, and it said, endeavoring to keep the unity of the spirit and the bond of peace. And I thought, well, that works. That totally works. Because then it'll have meaning, and then, he'll have a sister, and they'll have this scripture between them that they can always share. So I went ahead and I proposed to my husband, what do you think about the name Unity? What do you think about, the scripture? And he liked it. He said, I like it. And I said, great. So what about the middle name? And I said, are you okay with Milagro, which means miracle in Spanish? Because I wanted to give her a Spanish middle name since Bond had one too. And he said, yes. He said, I'm okay with that too. So she's Unity Milagro Myers. She was born in 1994. And she was completely different than Bond. When she came, she slept because she was born at night. So she slept, throughout the night. And then that next morning when she woke up, she was hungry. She ate. She was healthy. And Bond was looking at her, and he was, happy that she was there, but you could tell that he was, had to take a little back seat. And he did. He took that little back seat so well. He understood that now it was going to be limited time, that I was going to have less time. He understood all that somehow. He understood. And he took that role as the big brother, just making sure she was okay, and looking to see, when she was sleeping, peeking at her and stuff. And she came, and we have a strong relationship. We have a good relationship with Unity, but it's completely completely different than my relationship with Bond. Because Unity always says, you prefer Bond more. You love Bond more than you love me. And I tell her, no, no, no. That is not true. The difference is Bond is easier on me. And he doesn't get mad at me as easily. And he gets mad at me, but he forgives me quick. And Unity sometimes will, she'll expect more from me. She wants me to be better than I think I can be. And she really, really she roots for me. She wants to see me do good. But I think sometimes she thinks I'm better than what I am, and she pushes me hard, and sometimes I break.
So do you think when she does get mad at you, it's not necessarily that she's mad at you, but she sees something in you that you don't see in yourself?
Yes, exactly.
And she knows you have the potential to bring it out, and maybe you just don't know how. And so in her, maybe it just presents itself as anger.
Yeah.
But just hearing the story, I don't know how it really is, but to me it just sounds like she's not angry at you, but she knows that you have something in you that you don't see yet.
It's true. She always tells me, you can do it. She pushed me up this mountain the other day. She came to visit me, and we went hiking, and she pushed me up this mountain, and I was really not wanting to do it because I was tired, and I was just not feeling my best. And she said, Mom, you can do this, you can do this. And she pushed me. It took me 4 hours to get up this mountain. And she pushed me up the mountain. And I was glad at the top. When I got to the top, I was so grateful that she pushed me that hard. Mm-hmm. But it seemed like every step of the way, it seemed like she was disappointed with me. But that was the only way to get me up there, because I was so ready to give up. Every step of the way, I told her, I don't want to do this. Why don't you just go up by yourself, and I'll just wait here. And she kept telling me, no, I don't want to be up there without you. And I said, yeah, but I don't think I can make it, and it's going to take too long. And she said, it doesn't matter. She said, I will wait as long as it takes, but I just don't want you to give up. And she just kept on pushing me until we finally got up to the top. We did finally make it. It just took a really, really long time.
How did you feel when you made it to the top?
Oh, I was grateful to get up there. I was surprised. I was actually surprised.
Yeah. Were you like, all right, let's go?
Yeah.
Let's go back down.
Yes. I did want to get down right away after that. I wanted to get right back down. But when we did get to the top, I was surprised to be there. I was happy to be there, but I really couldn't wait to get back down. I just was... I knew how much it was going to take to get back down, and I knew that I barely had enough energy to get up there. So I knew getting back down is going to take also energy. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh man, getting back down is going to be so hard. But surprisingly, getting down was easy. Mm-hmm. And I told her when we got down, I said, if I would have known that going down was going to be so easy, then I might not have been so reluctant to get to the top. It was just that getting to the top, all the thing I was thinking about was, every step I go up, it's going to be a step I have to go back down. And so I was trying to not take too many steps up so I wouldn't have to go back down. And then when we did end up going back down, it was so easy. I was like, wow, I thought it was going to be harder to go back down, and it wasn't as hard as I thought. And
gravity was in your favor.
Yeah. And I thought I was going to run out of energy. I was so afraid of, getting really tuckered out. And I didn't want to be one of those people who had to have the helicopter come. And, when you're mountain climbing, sometimes some people do have to have the helicopter come.
Yeah.
If they go too far and they can't get back. And I just didn't want to be that person.
Yeah. Kind of like marathon runners. They always have EMTs waiting to go pick somebody up who has to stop and they need a ride back to base.
That's what I was afraid of.
Yeah.
I was so afraid of being that person. And it turned out I wasn't, but I felt like maybe I was going to be that person. And she was like, no, you're good. You're strong. And I'm like, I don't feel strong though. But I guess I am stronger than I think.
So I guess I'm curious about your relationship with your daughter, because it sounds a lot like my relationship with my mother. And we have a tendency to, how do I explain it? So when we're together, and we've actually been to counseling before. We had mother-daughter counseling. We were seeing a psychologist because of this. But we'll get together and we're both defensive because we're ready for the other one to strike, I guess. So she's on the defense because she's ready for me to make her feel, like, not that anybody makes anybody feel a certain way, but make her feel that she's doing something wrong. And I'm on the defense because I'm waiting for her to say something that either she doesn't mean to say or hurts my feelings, but she doesn't know it hurts my feelings. And so, we've seen counselors for this. One counselor. But what you said about you and your daughter, how she seems to get angry at you more than your son, or she doesn't forgive you as quickly, or it just reminds me of my mom and I. And what happened with our counselor is he showed us both individually, like we would have a shared session, and then she would go, and then I would go. Basically, he showed each of us why we don't need to be defensive with each other.
So I want to go to him.
Okay. I'll see if my mom can dig up his name. It was over betterhelp.com, not an ad. So it was all over the internet. The
That
World
would be
Wide Web.
Convenient. So even if her and I lived in different places, we could still see him.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
So it was very helpful. But I think it's been a while. So sometimes it comes back. Like, I'll feel like she's on the defense with me, so I'll naturally be on the defense with her, just waiting. What's she going to say next? What's going to happen? And then nothing happens. And then I'm like, well, that was kind of a wasted visit with my mom. Like, why, just relax, enjoy the time together. Does any of that make sense?
It does. And I mean, I don't know what it's like for her, and I'm glad you're sharing your perspective, because I only know what it's like for me, and I never really do know what it's like for her. I just assume that I might know what it's like for her, but I really don't. I know she gets frustrated, and I feel like I don't want to upset her, but I also don't understand what she might be feeling from me. She might be feeling like I'm on the attack. Who knows?
Yeah. One thing we figured out was that my mom tends to treat me like I'm a kid still. She's gotten way better since we've seen the counselor, but what he picked up on right away is she tends to treat me like I'm still a child, and because I'm treated that way, I still kind of act like I'm a child. And so it becomes this two adults, like I'm the adult child, but even at one point she said something about Tony, my brother. It was along the lines of, well, I see Tony as an adult, and I'm thinking, I am married and I have a child and I live in my own house, and you don't see me as an adult. I didn't say that out loud, but I don't remember how that story went.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but that's how that all started. Was
she made a statement that she saw your brother as an adult, but you hadn't heard her make the statement about you.
Yeah.
Right.
So instead of talking about it, I just took it to heart and just went with it.
It's an offensive thing when someone underestimates you.
Yeah.
Of course. But even when someone overestimates you, can also feel overwhelming.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes as a mom, I don't want to place more responsibility on my daughter than she can handle. And I'm not underestimating her. But if I told her, hey, you should be doing more, that could also be harmful.
Yeah.
So where she's at right now in her life, it exceeded everything that I ever imagined for her. And it's not because I underestimated her. It's just that I didn't want to overestimate her.
Yeah.
But she moved out when she was 18 and she started this whole new life in Texas. And she didn't just move out of the home, she moved out of the state. And for us, that was like, whoa, 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 Unity, slow down. Where are you going, girl? Why are you moving so fast? And she took that as you're underestimating me, and as I guess, a little bit of an insult. Because, like you said, I was thinking she was a little kid still. Because 18 to me looks like a little kid. But her
Even to me now, 18 looks like a kid.
right? But legally,
Yeah.
she could do it. And she's like, who are you saying? She's like, you were 18 when you had a baby. Like, so in a way, she's saying, I'm not doing anything differently than you did. You left home at a super young age. You went on, started your life in a different state at a super young age. I'm only doing exactly what you did.
Yeah.
And yet you're criticizing me for it.
Yeah. Is she the type where you'll, I don't know if you'd ever actually say this, but you're over your head and she'll be like, watch me.
Yeah.
And then be like, watch me do this thing that you just said I can't do.
Yeah.
I sensed that.
She is. No, but she's strong-willed, and I admire her for it. But I fear also because I'm like, no, baby, don't do that. Like, do you have, a helmet on? Like, And she's like, I'm not a baby.
Yeah.
I'm not, as she always says that to me, I'm not a baby. I'm not a baby. And I recognize that she's not a baby, but you're my baby. You're not a baby.
Yeah.
But you're my baby.
Yeah.
And I don't want anything to happen to either one of my babies. But of the two of them, they both give me stress and anxiety and heart attacks. But she has put herself in a position where she doesn't need me anymore. And that is good, because that means that if something were to happen to me and I wasn't here, I know she'll be okay. But going back to Bond again, if something were to happen to me, I don't know if Bond will be okay. So of the two of them, even though she's harder on me, she has given me permission to leave this planet if I want to. But with Bond, I can't ever leave. I don't want to leave, first of all, but I also don't want to leave him without any way to take care of himself. I think he needs me more than Unity does. And I could be wrong. Maybe Unity needs me a lot. And maybe Unity doesn't tell me how much she needs me. And maybe that's very generous of her. But Bond needs me a lot. And I don't know if he can survive without me. I hope he can. I think that's what every parent wants, right? Every parent wants to know that their kids are going to be okay when they depart, whenever that day is.
Yeah.
But it's not about an age thing, because what if I got in a car accident and I died tomorrow? Would they be okay?
Yeah.
Right? Do you worry about that with Desmond? If you got in a car accident tomorrow, would he be okay without you? That's a hard question.
Yeah.
Of course he would. Of course he would. Of course he would.
Yeah.
He will be. Because other people will step in, because he's little. But when they're adults, you think, will other people step in when they're adults too? I hope so.
How old is Bond?
30, well, he'll be...
He's 20. No, he's not 20.
He's born in 91, so he'll be 32 in November. He'll be 32. So, I mean, when people ask me my age or his age, it's like, you got to go by the year. So we're in 91, even though he doesn't turn 32 until November, which is the end of the year.
Yeah.
And I have a late birthday as well. So I'm like, should I say I'm 50 or should I say I'm 49? Technically, I'm 49 because I haven't quite turned 50 yet. But if you just go by the year, I'm 50. But if you go by the month, I'm 49. So if you go by the year, he's 32. If you go by the month, he's 31. He's going to be 32 this year. I like to beat it to the punch because I have a late birthday.
Yeah.
So I like to always be like, in January, I'm like, okay, I'm 50. All right, 50. And it's like, but you don't turn 50 until October. It's like, no. I don't want to wait all year to turn 50. I just want to say I'm 50, like Sally O'Malley,
Yeah. So with that logic, I'm 38.
You are?
Because I'll be 38 next weekend.
That's right.
Holy crap.
Beat it to the punch.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm 38 years old. I keep telling my mom, I'm almost 40, right? Like one of the things I do when she still tells me, you should be doing this, or you should do this, or you should. I go, Mom, stop shooting on me.
Shooting, I know.
And then it lightens the mood a little bit.
I do that to my daughter. Please help me. Help me before I ruin our relationship. Because I really don't want to shit on her, but I do it all the time. And she's like, I'm telling you things and you're telling me what I should do. I'm not asking for advice. I just want to be able to talk to you without you telling me what I should do. Just listen. And I'm like, I feel like if I don't tell you what you should do, then I don't care. And that's my love language, is coming up with solutions. And she's like, I'm not asking you for solutions.
Yeah. But the thing is, you have to go by her love language. You should go by her love language.
I should.
Maybe next time you can catch yourself.
I know.
And you can think of what I said and
I'm
be
gonna
like,
think about,
am I shitting all over you?
I should not should on her, but I should.
Thou shalt not should.
She shouldn't be shoulded.
Shoulded on. Ooh, that's
She
good.
shouldn't be
I like
should.
that.
She deserves not to be, especially not from me, because who knows how else is doing it to her. She could be having a lot of people doing it to her, and I could be that one last should that she just can't take.
Yeah. But I get it. Like, even though Des is only 5, well, with your logic, he's 6. In June.
He's 60. Let's be honest.
He's 60, yeah.
He's 60.
Just fast forward. I don't know if it's because of my experience with my mom. I'm pretty sure she's okay with me talking about this because we've done a lot of work on ourselves so that we can be better for each other. But even though Des is 5, because of my experience with my mom, I want to make sure that I'm not the parent that shoulds all over him. You know what I mean? He's already smarter than me. And he's only 5, so I have to trust that that's going to carry on into his adulthood, and he's going to be just fine. I'm literally right now teaching him how to be an adult, and I'm a pretty dang good adult, I think.
He's going to be doing your taxes. He's going to be doing your taxes.
Yeah, well, he wants to go to Mars when he's 29.
Oh my God.
He wants to be the first person on Mars. I'm like, you know what? Go for it, baby. You can do it.
Oh,
so
these kids.
I love him so much.
I know. And I love mines too. And they are my teachers. And I know they're smarter than me. They both are. They're both smarter than me, which I'm happy about that. It doesn't make me bummed out that they're smarter than me. I don't feel dumb around them. I just feel like I'm smarter about different things. They're smarter than me. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to like things, like I know not to put coffee on a table next to a baby.
Yeah.
I know that. I don't know how to work the internet. I don't know how to do anything like that. But when it comes to knowing that maybe that coffee shouldn't be right there on the edge of the table where it's going to spill because the baby's right there.
Yeah.
And I know babies and I know what babies do. Babies spill things. And then the coffee spills and I'm like, I could have prevented that spill from the coffee. But then again, all right, well, the coffee's going to spill and that's fine. And who cares about the stain? But I'm the person that's like, I can see that that's going to spill. I can see it because I've seen it spill before.
Yeah.
And I know there's a baby and there's a toddler, and I know toddlers. I know toddlers spill things. So that's where I'm like, oh, I wish I could just show you how to baby proof the room and everything. But I'm afraid of spills.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of spills. And Unity's not afraid of spills. She just puts the coffee on the edge of the table, and it spills every time. And then the next day, she puts the coffee back on the edge of the table again. And it's going to spill again, and she's okay with it.
Well, if she's okay with it, you should be okay with it also.
But that's good coffee.
Yeah. Oh. It's one of the cool things about becoming a parent is that now you have the comparison of being the child and having the child, if that makes any sense. Like, I was the child. I'm a grown ass adult now, you know what I mean? And now I have the child, but one of these days he's gonna be the grown ass adult. But I know he's still gonna be my child, and I know it's gonna be hard to not give him advice that he doesn't ask for. And when I think of it that way, that's how I'm able to give my mom some grace. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have to think of it that way because I know she's never doing it to hurt me.
No.
Or to piss me off.
Never.
Or, to whatever me or shit on me.
It's coming from a place of love.
Yeah.
It just sounds like condemnation.
Yeah. Even when I tell her, Mom, I'm almost 40. Yeah. And Tony is 40 and he stinks. He doesn't really stink.
Well, and they're allowed to make mistakes. Like, she should be able to make mistakes. And I should just sit back. I should sit back and just let her make mistakes.
Let the coffee spill.
Let the coffee spill. Let her get in relationships that are bad. Let her, hurt. Let her have tears. Let her cry. And I just don't want her to go through everything I went through. But she is. She's going through everything I went through.
She can't learn that it's bad by you telling her it's bad. She has to feel that it's bad.
Yep.
Your homework is when you go home to Hawaii, which is awesome. I'm going to have to come visit you.
You have to come visit me. I would implore you, please visit me. I want more visitors.
Ladies and gentlemen, she's on Lost Island. Thank you. And for those of you who have hung out with me for a long time, that is my favorite TV show and my husband's. And we got married to the music from Lost.
What?
So anyway, back to your homework. So your homework when you get home to Lost Island is to get a dry erase marker and write on your bathroom mirror, let the coffee spill.
Let the coffee spill.
Let the coffee spill.
I'm going to write it big. Let the coffee spill. Mm-hmm. And I'm probably going to have to write a song about it.
And stop shitting on people.
No more shutting. Let the coffee spill.
My mom just walked back in the room. She's looking at us like, what the are you talking about?
No more shooting. Let the coffee spill. No more shooting.
Forever and ever, amen.
I mean, the shooting is going to be easy. I think the shooting is going to be harder than letting the coffee spill. Mm-hmm. The shooting is going to be, that's going to take some real effort.
Yeah. Just let the should hit the fan.
Let the should hit the fan. Letting the coffee spill, I mean, the coffee can be cleaned up.
Yeah.
But man, those shoulds are just rolling off my tongue.
But listen.
Like,
listen. The coffee can be cleaned up, but so can the emotions if you don't should on her.
If I stop shooting
If you stop shooting on her and she feels the emotions that you had when you experienced XYZ already, and I know you're trying to tell her, don't do this because this and this and this is going to happen, but she's not going to know how this and this and this feels.
And I love you. And by the way, in the middle of all those shoulds, I love you.
Yeah.
I love you. Mm-hmm. I love you. I don't want you to experience 1 single ounce of pain ever.
And she knows that. And that's why she's hard on you. And that's why she gets angry, in air quotes.
Angry, impatient, but at the same time, she really wants me close to her, and I want to be close to her too. When we're apart, it sucks. But we grow when we're apart, and she grows more when I'm not around, shooting.
So I have a question. A, is she going to listen to this? And 2, if she listens to this, what do you want to say to her?
I don't love Bond more than you. I love you both the same. And when you asked me about the alien abductions, and she said, Mom, if the aliens came and they were going to take either me or Bond, and you said you would rather them take me than Bond because you want to stay with Bond. You want Bond and you to be together forever and for the aliens to take me. And I said, no, you got it wrong. I knew me and Bond would die, but the aliens might take you to a better place. And I wanted you to be in a better place than me and Bond. Because I love you enough to let the aliens take you.
And I think, if I may say so, to a certain extent, you know that if the aliens took her, she'd be just fine. She'd probably kick their ass if they tried to do anything.
They probably would take her to a better place.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd have a chance of existing continually. But if the aliens are coming, I told her I wanted her to get on the ship with them and me and Bond stay behind. I do love her a lot. And I'm okay with me and Bond staying behind. And Bond would have it that way.
So in this instance, it seems like it's all about perspective. Perspective is everything. Yeah. Maybe she's thinking the aliens are going to take me and harm me, and you're thinking the aliens are going to take her and take her to a better place.
Well, it's like Sophie's choice, so hopefully no woman would ever have to make Sophie's choice. But there's a lady who had 2 children, a boy and a girl, and she could only choose one. And she chose, I can't remember which one she chose, but just the fact that she had to choose probably really was difficult.
Yeah.
And that's what I have to do all the time, because one of my kids lives in one place and one of my kids lives in another place. And I wish they both lived in the same place like it used to be. But that's not the way the world works. That you can't tell people where they should live. You got to just let them go live wherever they want and visit whenever you can. And that's what life is about, is letting people do what they want, even though this doesn't suit your needs. That's the hardest part of being a parent, is letting go. And letting them go live their own lives, even if it's not in the place where you thought was perfect in paradise.
Even if they don't follow your shoulds.
Even if they don't follow my shoulds, they should be able to make their own choices. And that's the biggest love flex that you can give them, is to say, no matter what you do, even if it is something I would never want to do, it's your life and you should live it. You
should live it. That's the perfect time to should on somebody.
It's your life. You should do it the way you want it, because you only get one. And if you do mine, then that's not doing yours.
Yeah. It's my life. It's now or never.
We love Bon Jovi.
Oh,
living on a prayer.
Desmond sings that song.
Prayer. That's all you can do is pray. So when they're flying, doing their things, making choices that give us heart attacks, you get on your knees and say, Lord, you have to take care of this, because I am not able to figure out why they're doing these things. So I just get on my knees, and then I eat, and then I go to sleep.
There you go. So I think that's a good place to end this. But I feel like, well, I know that everybody has not just one story, but multiple stories. So I think we should, in the future, even if it's over a Zoom call, keep telling your stories because I like your stories. And I think that at least one mom and one daughter that's listening to this episode is going to be changed a little bit by what you've told me.
I sure do hope so. I hope she listens and hope she doesn't turn it off in the very beginning. Get to the end of the story.
So, at the end of every episode, I ask everybody one question, which is, if you had one piece of advice that you could give to the world, what would it be?
I always say the same thing because I've heard this one before. Do more yoga.
Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, Evelyn Holm Barry, signing off. Until next time.